Are you frozen, Matt, or are you just...
No, I'm not. I just I'm trying to remember one thing, and I'm like, what am I trying to remember? Leave all that in.
That'll be the cold open.
Hello and welcome to Is This Good? The show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. With me is on-air powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Oh, thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing the heat. Thanks for bringing the dramatic pauses. And producing the show. Oh, you think you're the only one that could do a dramatic pause? Rachel Doyle.
Hey.
Don't edit out that pause, Rachel, okay? In fact, could you add more air into it?
We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I think that was perfect. What are you talking about?
It's perfection.
Hey, I don't want to, last week we did a lot of wedding talk, and I don't want to talk about it again by any means, but I realized as we were about to record this that I had one question to ask you, Rachel, last week, and I fucking forgot to ask you, so I'm going to ask you just off the top here. You promised, you swore up and down that you would not drink at the wedding. Did you have a drink at the wedding?
I didn't have one. I kept hammering it back and then went out for a smoke circle. So.
Wow.
Oh, wait. You were smoking the devil's lettuce?
Wow.
I was like, okay.
At my wedding?
One of our lovely friends grabbed me by the hand and I was like fucking flying through the air outside and I was like, why not?
Oh,
Let's
and
do
how
this.
did that mix go for you? Because it's a difficult cocktail to tame sometimes.
It was very nice. It was very chill. It wasn't crazy, and it was like aromatherapy. I was brought back to the days of smoking, and it was very nice. Memories, nostalgia.
Only a mom would describe smoking weed as aromatherapy, but smell is a powerful memory.
Oh,
Took
absolutely.
me back.
I mean,
big
it's
time.
the most powerful, they say.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, is what I'm getting at.
Right.
Okay, so you did
Nice.
drink. Well, I'm glad you did. I don't know why you swore that you wouldn't.
I was trying to be good.
I was letting you believe that you wouldn't, but I'm
Nobody
fine that
else
you did.
believed it. So.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's exactly. Hey, speaking of weed, can I'd like to maybe introduce a new segment here.
Okay, let's do it.
Stone Thought of the Week.
Haven't you introduced this like 4 times already?
Well, I've never, but not as a segment. I've said, here's a Stone Thought. But I found myself, I send myself emails periodically through the week if there's something I want to talk about on the show, and I hashtag it ITG. So then,
No pun intended.
When we're going to do the show, that's right. I just search ITG, and then they all come.
Oh, smart.
I'm making it sound it's like, man, there's so many. It's usually like 2 or
Yeah.
3.
Still.
But this is one of them.
Forgetfulness is a side effect, just saying.
Well, it is. I mean, I'm at the point now where I've realized, I'm like, oh, that's a good thing to talk about. Oh, you should write that down. No, it's good enough that I'll remember it. No, it's not.
Right.
There's no such thing.
Yeah.
I was literally, my brain shut down for 3 minutes before the start of the show trying to remember one
did.
thing that I couldn't remember, to the point where you literally asked me, are you frozen right now?
I thought you might have been sobbing into your armpit, but
I mean, we've worked together for a very long time, so I know when you're thinking of something, but this time it was a little longer than normal. Like a little, we crossed over.
Can I say something, actually? So this week at my job, we're working from home 5 days a week, which, God.
That's all the days, Matt.
Oh, sorry. 4 days a week. Okay. Well, I don't know. I worked the weekend last week, so whatever. Blah blah blah. But here we go. So I said, hey, just wanted to check in. Like, I know you're new. Is everything going okay? But the way they asked, I was like, they think that I'm not doing okay. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's great. Well, why? They're like, I just noticed sometimes, like, on Zooms, like, you have this look on your face that, like, you look like really sort of like furrowed. Your brow is furrowed and you look upset.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no, that's how I listen.
I have listen wrinkles.
Yeah.
And I did the face for Jill. I said, if you're talking and I'm making this face, what do you think I'm doing? She said, you're listening. I said, thank you.
Yeah,
That's how I listen.
She's used to it. I'm used to it. Your new colleagues not used to it yet, but they'll get used to it.
So it's a stank face.
It's not stank. It's like it's a little too serious, admittedly, for what we're doing at work. But yeah.
Are you okay? You've chewed through 4 pens in our last.
When they call on me or whatever, I'm forget what I'm bringing in terms of actual creative work. Like I'm bringing energy. I'm bringing yes-anding. I'm cheering people on. I'm dropping a joke in.
Nice.
I'm dropping a funny GIF in the Slack. You know?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, you gotta. but I do look miserable. I've resting listening face.
That's fine. I'll get used to it.
And speaking about The Office, you know, I don't. Again, not going to say too much because I can't dox myself or this company, especially because I have not been hired full time yet. But
smart.
If any of them find this, I don't think they'll mind me saying that. Whoever's in charge of this is an office. It's a millennial-y style office, if you know what I'm saying. Like, there's not a foosball table, but they do have kitchen with free tiny snacks.
Sure. Yeah.
And they're over-indexing on the snacks and under-indexing on freshness. Like gums, mints.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
It's more snacks. Like what's the go-to? Like, are we talking mini Twixes? Are we talking granola? Are we talking?
Yeah, there's like one bin with fun-size like Halloween-style candy. Okay. Then there's Skinny Pop and veggie straws, those kind of healthy chips. Then there's just straight up like Doritos and stuff like that. Okay. There's those small bags of like Chips Ahoy and Oreos. I mean, there's good stuff.
Yeah. Good.
But I went straight to the CFO, the chief freshness officer, and I said, I'm coming for your job, man. Because we're eating all this shit. I mean, they've got like, you know, those seaweed packs with like, I'm like, throw a stick of Trident in after that, you know?
Yeah.
That's all.
So
hey,
get some orange Trident in there is what you're saying.
And while I'm at it, I have a question for the people at the ROLO factory.
Oh, God.
What are you doing over there? This is the most inconsistent candy. Like, I don't even know what they think the platonic ideal of a ROLO is. Because sometimes you bite into it, and the caramel inside is viscous and soft, like a caramello, or in Canada, like a caramel. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you bite into it, and the caramel's chewy, like one of those little butterscotch candies wrapped in the clear plastic, those little bites. So which is it? I don't even know what they want me to think.
Maybe it's too old. It gets chewy.
I think it gets congealed, and those are old Rolos.
And
but a jujube is chewy relative to like a Swedish fish, but they want it to be that way. So how do you know they're not trying to make it that way?
I know because I've seen ROLO marketing, and it's always a gooey center. Like a bite is out of the ROLO, and ROLO Tony is bringing it out.
Oh, like a cheese
string.
pull?
Yeah, exactly.
And it looks like the little swirl that Superman has on his forehead?
That's exactly right.
I didn't even know they still made ROLO.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you're doing
You didn't know they still make ROLO?
I haven't had a ROLO in at least 10 years.
20 for me.
Wow.
It's the Pez of the chocolate world.
Yeah.
When you think about it.
What?
Because you pop
it's
it
like
in.
you take the first foil off, and then you can sort of just give them out one by one.
Yeah, like Mentos as well.
Yeah, they're the Mentos of the chocolate world.
Anyways, that's what they should do. They should get like a dispenser, a ROLO dispenser.
But then they would probably go bad.
Yeah.
Chocolate over their hands. Ugh.
Well, they go fast. ROLOs are quite delicious. So what's your preference, though? What's your preference?
I want it to be soft. I want it to be like a caramello.
Okay. I don't mind a chewy ROLO, but I'm a monster that way.
Yeah. Anyways, you're saying that like it's so unpopular that they're sitting on the shelf, whereas a Twix is flying off. So no one's getting a bad Twix.
Exactly right.
Oh, I'd like it to be like the caramel in a Twix.
Right.
You know, soft.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Wait, hold on.
That's
a little harder. There's got some give to the not give, but take. It's got some. You got to fight with it a little to get it into you. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, I want it soft. Anyways,
is this the stone thought, or are we?
No, we're getting to the stone. And now for your stone thought of the week.
Talking about
this
candy.
is so appropriate. Go on.
Okay, if you're listening, I'm going to say the word Andor, but this is not about the show, and it's not any spoilers. I'm like 4 episodes in. Don't freak out.
Okay.
Don't skip ahead. All right, so I was watching Andor,
okay,
and there was just a character had a suitcase. Like a character in the show was going on a trip, and they had a suitcase, and they threw it on the bed, and they were packing it. Completely incidental to anything going on in both the show and the scene. Yeah. But I found myself honing in on the suitcase, like just what it looked like.
Yeah.
Because, you know, in the script it says like, oh, he brings his suitcase into the room to pack it, or whatever it says in the script. And now some set designer or prop designer's got to be like, oh shit, what does a suitcase in the Star Wars universe look like, right?
Exactly. We've never seen it before. A lot of firsts on Andor, I will have to say. Also, no spoilers, but, you know, guy pissing. You'd never see it on Star Wars. You've never seen it.
You've never... Hold on. So you're saying the last barrier is someone taking a shit?
I mean, I think so.
If you're a Stormtrooper... Let's talk about this for a second. Okay. I hate to be Kevin Smith here, but how does a Stormtrooper take a shit? Has he discussed this?
I know. Well, you got to talk to the extras on the set of Star Wars, because it's something that they have to deal with on a daily basis, right? Because they're wearing these costumes. But yeah, I don't know. But Andor, a shower. There's a scene where there's you know, you see a shower. It's like you've never seen anybody bathe on Star Wars. You know, a guy takes off his boots. It's like, oh, they wear socks in the Star Wars universe. You know, like little things.
Cutoffs or calf length?
They were full length.
Oh, wow.
Strange.
I mean, you are describing a very boring show. You're like, finally, they've done what we've wanted to for years. See someone take a piss. See someone shower. See someone put on socks. Yeah. A movie that's famous for high-octane, you know,
space
TIE fighter fights.
Yeah, exactly.
You want what you don't have.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, continue.
Okay, so I'm looking at the suitcase. Can't take my eyes off it. And I'm like, if they had brought this to me, would I know, like, what would a suitcase in the future look like? And this is a weird future too, because it's like very advanced. There's light speed or whatever they call it in Star Wars. Like you could travel to different planets in different galaxies.
Yeah.
But their computers look like they're from 1982.
Yeah, they kind of painted themselves into a corner because the original movie was produced in 1977. So they had to stick with that tech.
It was still like the turtle from Logo Rider going around the screen.
Well, it takes place right before Episode 4, so it needs to match the Star Wars technology.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're at the stone thought. So then I start thinking, what if I'm in 1925,
okay.
right? Mm-hmm. And it's 100 years later. If you asked me in 1925, what does a suitcase in 100 years look like?
Yeah.
Do you think that anyone would have gotten right that the only difference is that it has wheels on it? Like and it's 1925, we're shooting a sci-fi picture, right?
Right. Yeah.
A guy in a cigar is like, "Hey, you, what's the suitcase from the future look like, kid?" And it's the exact same. It just has wheels on it. I would have been laughed out of.
It's not the exact same.
Paramount Pictures.
It would have been like a Mary Poppins bag where you just throw as much in as you want, and it's the tiniest thing ever. That's what I would have thought.
Yeah, I agree. This is my point, Rachel, right? Like, if we're asked to say, what does X 100 years into the future look like? We feel pressure to make it look fucking crazy.
Right.
But in reality, sometimes it's just wheels. That's all we've done in 100 years, right?
Impressive.
I mean, the cool thing would be is if somebody was making a show in 1925 and they came up with a futuristic suitcase and put wheels on it, that would be genius. It would be, you just invented something, because wheels didn't come in till what, the 70s, 80s?
Yes. So, Stone Thoughts, sober research. That's what I say.
Okay.
Because I started thinking like how, and then I woke up and I was like, maybe the Stone Thought's stupid, because maybe suitcases with wheels existed in 1925. No way. They did not.
Did they even exist in the 80s?
I don't even think
so.
Okay,
let me take you through some research that I did. Okay.
All right.
This is from an article in The Guardian. In 1970, an American luggage executive unscrewed 4 casters from a wardrobe and fixed them to his suitcase. Then he put a strap on the contraption and trotted it gleefully around his house. That's how Bernard Sato invented the world's first rolling suitcase. It happened roughly 5,000 years after the invention of the wheel. And 1 year after NASA managed to put 2 men on the surface of the moon. Wow. We had an electric rover with wheels on a foreign heavenly body before we ever invented wheels on a suitcase. Is this, I mean, now I feel like I'm stoned again because I'm fascinated. How does shit like this happen?
Yeah.
It works well enough, and there are harder things to try to sort out.
Well, also think of the bellhop industry, right?
The porters.
The porters. They still have those carts, right? I still see people stacking up suitcases on carts in airports. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, that's the funny thing. Yeah. When was the dolly invented? Not like the film Dolly, but like when you go to a hotel and they throw all your bags onto one of those carts.
Yeah. I mean,
or whatever. Even in, let's say, the moving industry, like if you had to move a couch,
right,
in 1930,
yeah,
we didn't have wheels on anything.
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. I think the game changer was the caster and the rollerblade wheel. Yeah.
No, what about, okay, I agree, but I would say the what's it called, the skateboard wheel
or roller skate.
That's what I'm. Right.
Well, you said rollerblade. That was like.
Did you mean roller skate?
No, I meant rollerblade because I remember when those started appearing on suitcase. And I'm like, God damn, this is genius. It's like smooth, and you can actually, move around. Because for a while it was just the two wheels. You had to tip your suitcase and drag it behind you, but now they have the four wheels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in this article, this woman that's writing this article posits that the reason that it took so long to get wheels on a suitcase was basically sexism. In both directions. Men thought it was unmanly to not carry a suitcase, like to wheel it down. Okay. But they also thought that they should be carrying the suitcases of their wives. And because men and women tended to travel together, like when women were less able to be independent. Why are you laughing? It's like
because this is hilariously on brand for The Guardian, but continue.
Seems kind of stupid, to be honest.
It's like, you know why? Sexism. That's why. Maybe nobody thought of it.
Yeah.
No, because they make a great point that in Romancing the Stone, a movie that I love and I believe you love too,
of course,
Kathleen Turner, that Michael Douglas makes fun of her because she has a wheeled suitcase.
I don't remember.
It's a sign of her being high maintenance.
How's that high maintenance?
Because she brings it to the jungle. He's like, you brought a wheeled suitcase? I mean, okay.
Okay, well...
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
As opposed to a regular suitcase? Like, I think he was referring to, like, maybe bring a backpack instead of a suitcase.
Suitcase at all.
But, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I can't imagine... Well, I don't know, maybe. Like, men just aren't that macho. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like...
I remember people saying... I remember there was a discourse... are you a wimp for rolling a suitcase?
Okay. I don't recall that.
Yeah, that sounds so dumb. Like,
well, I'm telling you, it's true. I mean, this is a little bit reminds me of like the old Adam Carolla bit where he's like, you show me a toaster in 1940,
yeah,
and then you show me a toaster in 2020. Well, I guess I was listening to this in maybe more like
2016-ish.
Yeah. Even earlier, yeah. And he was like, the toast, it looks the same. It's like two slots. Mm-hmm. You put the toast in, you push the thing down, and it takes the same amount of time, as it did 50 years ago.
Yeah,
and you would think that we're like constantly advancing. Now, in another sense, if I was in 1925 and you said, what does the phone of the future look like? If I showed you a thing that was this size that I could video call you. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think people would be like, whoa, that's fucking crazy. That is the future.
Of course.
And they were right.
Yeah. But toast is toast, and suitcase is a suitcase.
No, suitcases are not suitcase. Did they have zippers back then?
That's what I was going to say. I don't even think they would have buckles. They're just buckles and straps.
All right. So if you're in 1870 and you say, what does the suitcase of 1970 look like? And someone just put a zipper on it.
You'd be like... What are you, some kind of wuss? You need a zipper on that thing? Look at Fancy Pants with the zipper on his suitcase. What are you,
okay, hold
woman?
on. Are you telling me that you're saying that... Fellas, are wheels gay? This is a question that people used to ask each other. Because if you're going into your high-powered office job, what looks more real businessman executive like?
I mean, carrying
a briefcase or a knapsack?
A briefcase. But,
you do see people now, like, not taking backpacks to school. They're taking wheeled bags. And there is
kids, like elementary school kids?
Yeah. Yeah, and middle school and high school. Like, because they don't want to carry that kind of weight on their back, and it makes more sense to bring a wheeled bag. Are people judging
9-year-olds are worried about their lumbar?
I think
What's
their parents
on?
are. Their parents are.
To be fair to them, they basically have to pass through airport security to get into the building, so why not bring a suitcase? And they don't have lockers
Yeah,
anymore.
and they've got huge books to take every day. My kids definitely have some sort of scoliosis from the fucking shit they carried back and forth every day.
Wait, why don't they have lockers?
Because I think in Jackson
Nerds were
school,
tired of getting stuffed in them?
the nerds thing, and I think more drugs and weapons being hidden in them. So everything gets ruined.
Wow, so it's kind of like Shoe Bomber at TSA.
Yeah.
Right? It's like one guy puts a bomb in his shoe. Now we all got to take our shoes off.
Yeah.
Someone puts a nerd in the locker, and now no more lockers.
No more lockers. But you get wheeled suitcases.
And your back feels better.
Yeah.
You see, I actually, now I'm starting to believe this article because I can recognize the convenience of that, but the idea of me in 1991 wheeling my backpack through the halls of my school, I would have been massicared.
You would have definitely been shoved into a locker.
Yeah, back when they still had them. But I just can't, I think that's stuck with me, and I just cannot imagine doing that now. But,
okay. All right. Cool.
Don't
What else has yet to be invented because of sexism? Like that we're just sitting
If we're taking that seriously.
if we're just sitting on something.
That's a great question. And you know what? The answer to that question is millions of dollars. Because if you're this guy that patented the wheeled suitcase in 1970,
yeah.
This guy probably lives on a house with wheels on it at this point.
You mean a trailer or an RV?
That's a great point. We could have invented the RV so much earlier.
That's right.
Okay, no, wait, hold on. Speaking of cars, though, this article makes the case that when electric vehicles were first invented, this is like decades ago, that they were considered unmanly because they were slower. Because we didn't have the technology to make them fast enough. So they were like, never mind the fact that the whole point of this is we don't have fossil fuels.
Yeah.
It's just slower, and therefore the car is girly. Therefore, we don't want electric cars.
Is it? Well, maybe. Okay, sure.
I mean, also probably
I think the oil
intense
industry.
lobbying of the gas and oil industry.
Yeah. I think that had
something
more
to
to do with it, but
Yeah,
sure.
it had
if
something
you
to do
wanna...
with it.
Hey. Yeah,
Anyways,
whatever.
Let's finish Stone Thought of the Week with this question. It's currently 2025. What do suitcases look like in 2125?
Oh, 21, 25. I'm hoping for a Mary Poppins bag for sure.
Oh, just a magical, like, Harry Potter, you can fit anything in it. Interesting. How would that work? Just
I have no idea.
How would that? You're asking her to develop the technology?
let's talk it up. A portal
Maybe
into
it
another
dehydrates
dimension.
everything.
Ooh, a shrinking ray.
Or maybe it has
of
like
some
one of
sort.
those vacuum pack things
Yeah. That would be
built
handy.
into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Take all the air out. But maybe you can just shrink the molecules, go Ant-Man or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, why not? But
I don't know the technology there.
Is it insane to say self-carrying, like self-wheeling? I guess.
Oh, that's already here. I think I've seen prototypes of people.
You've seen prototype. What are you working overtime at Stark Industries?
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing about myself. I've never seen a prototype. I've lived 43 years. No one's ever showed me a prototype for it.
Yes, you have. You've seen these fucking weird robots on Instagram of that can like kung fu fight and
But I think that's not a prototype. I think if you show it to the masses, it's not a prototype.
Oh.
Is it? A prototype to me is like something like they sneak you into the back room and they're like, here at Bell Labs or,
right.
Raytheon. This is the invisible plane we're building. Kind of
I don't know. I think if you're like MIT research and they're like, here's this cool robot or here's this suitcase that follows me around. I've definitely seen that.
I'm still waiting. Do you remember when we invested? No, we didn't invest because they weren't taking public investors. But that company called Memphis Meats, I know it must have like a different name now, but it's never been put out into the public. And that was like what it feels like 10 years ago, where they're making genetically like laboratory meat. So it's,
yeah.
Like, when is this shit coming out?
That's a good question.
21, 25.
We're still, we've already experienced the explosion and the crash of Impossible meats. Remember 5 years ago, you couldn't go anywhere without seeing Impossible meats.
Oh, is that gone? I didn't even know.
It's not that it's gone. It's just no one talks about it anymore.
Right.
And it's not as popular. It doesn't, I haven't looked at the stock price recently.
Do you have any vegan friends? Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're probably not talking about it because it's old news, and that's just what they eat.
No, but even in the meat eating community, there was a time when everyone was like, "Well, holy shit, Impossible meats," and people were going to like eat veggie burgers, and they're like, "Wow, it bleeds just like regular meat."
It is very impressive if you've had them, but at the same time, it's like, how much soy do you want to eat?
Well, exactly. I think people started to realize, like, okay, well, this isn't any healthier for me necessarily.
Yeah, absolutely not healthier. That's the thing. That's why it's so good. It tastes great because it's not healthy, just like a burger. So I might as well eat a burger. Unless,
well, that's how I feel.
Yeah, totally.
Anyways, did you know that Impossible Burgers would have been invented 80 years earlier if not for sexism?
Yeah.
You're a wuss if you eat that shit.
Yeah, totally.
You can't kill a cow, bro? Come on. What's going on with you guys?
Well, you mentioned the wedding, and you didn't want to talk about it, but I do want to circle back to Montreal for a second because we did talk before the wedding about your party and how you were going to have orange wine at the party.
Ah, yes.
And I forgot.
And true to my word, there was orange wine there.
There was, and true to my word, it was the first thing that I ordered to drink at your party.
Did the bartender say, "How did you know?"
He kind of gave me a look like, "Oh, you're the first one to order this."
Those bartenders were great, by the way. Especially, I kept going back to the lady who was there, and she was just so attentive. It's like she really wanted to take care of me. No wonder I drank so much. She was so sweet and so
They were
attentive.
very nice there.
Yeah, they were great.
Anyway.
But now, would you agree with me that you were the only person that ordered it because no one else knew that it existed?
I didn't see anybody else with a glass of wine there. Yeah. So, but there were menus as you promised.
But it didn't say orange wine on it.
Oh, didn't it? Oh, I didn't.
I don't think so.
Oh, that's. Okay.
I think it listed the cocktails,
right.
And then at the bottom it said something like, "and a selection of beer and wine."
Oh, okay. Well, I probably drank a full bottle of orange wine.
Oh, fucking thank God. Now, you would have found takers for it if anyone knew, but like I said, no one walks up to an open bar assuming they're going to have orange wine. You need to be told. You need to have the bottle out, or you need to have it on a menu.
Okay, let me just say this. The wine was very good. I liked it a lot. But what's the point of the orange wine? Like, it just tastes like white wine. It tastes like white wine.
No.
Yeah, it does.
It can, I suppose.
Well, yours did.
Well, then what's the point of rosé?
Great point. Exactly.
The point of rosé is that Billy Joel needed a third kind of wine to rhyme in Scenes from an Italian Restaurant.
Yeah, but when that song was written, rosé was like gross sweet wine. Like, it's not the rosé of today.
Rosé of today.
It's
rosé all day.
It's just for looks. It's just for show. That's it.
There's nothing
and
wrong
it doesn't
with things
look that
being for
orange.
looks.
No, you're right. You're right. Like, I was expecting it to be like Kool-Aid orange, like Aperol orange.
Oh, gross.
But it wasn't. It was just.
It can be, but it's like you're. God, you're speaking of orange wine as if it's a monolith. Just like white wine is not a monolith and red wine is not a monolith. Okay. You have everything from a dark, bold, fruity red to a very light, young, almost translucent red wine, right?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
You have it all.
Yeah, that's true. But it's all red.
Orange
it's
is
all
the same.
red. It's all red.
And orange is orange. Different shades of orange, different shades of red.
There are. Where does the
You think all red wine looks the same? Do you?
Okay.
Then why do we have eyes?
Okay, how about this? We went to Satay Brothers the night we got there, which is a great restaurant. It was very fun. They only had natural wine, which is like, okay. Well, I got.
No, don't worry. Natural wine is over now.
Well, it wasn't.
It's just Montreal, and they haven't caught up.
Okay. Well, it was the first I sort of heard of it. I'm like, natural wine, that sounds good, I suppose, but it's just cloudy wine.
And it's super
it's got a funk.
sour.
It can have a funk to it. It can have a bit of a barnyard taste to it. Some are good. It's like everything, not a monolith. But
barnyard
the idea
taste.
of people wanted really funky wines. You know what? I would say natural wine.
Why would you want that?
Because it had the same trajectory actually as Impossible Meats. They kind of both rose to prominence at about the same time.
Oh wow!
That's just shitty wine. Like I grew up drinking my dad's shitty wine he made in a big plastic fucking garbage can. I'm not going to a restaurant to buy that shit where you gotta sift the crap out of the bottom.
Well, little did you know your father was a hip vintner.
Yeah,
he wasn't even making it out of grapes. It was out of
anything.
What did he?
Dandelion wine.
Oh, God.
Dandelion wine. What's that?
It's exactly what it sounds like.
Dandelion flowers, and whatever he did to make it into an alcoholic drink.
So your dad was basically making, like, when I watch like an old medieval movie, and after the battle they're all in court and with those big steins, whatever it is, that's what your dad was making.
Yeah.
Anything and everything and anything he could get his hands on, he tried to ferment it.
And were they all like? I guess what I'm asking is, was it like smell it and take a sip and puke immediately, or were any of these palatable?
No, not palatable. Well, he drank it fine. I had to do shots of it with my friends if we were going to get drunk on it. I'm like, gah. It was not my thing.
Interesting.
He made beer too, and we had. I told you there's a picture of me when I was tiny in a field of weed with him, somewhere in the woods, not on our property, behind the house.
That's smart. That's just smart.
That's just
It's just intelligent planting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like old photo albums I would always look through, and there'd be this giant marijuana leaf that he was like super proud of that he put in the photo album with the family photos. Anyway.
Oh, well, actually, sorry, JD, finish your wine story, because this reminds me that I have a follow-up about weed.
I think I'm done. I was just
I'm happy.
You're happy that I ordered the wine?
Yes,
the
very
wine.
happy.
Yeah, good. Well, I said I would, and I did, and I did enjoy it. But
you have a picture?
Yeah, it's going right here.
Whoa!
Does that look orange to you? Does that look orange?
Wine?
It's not orange. It's like a slightly darker version of white wine.
I do like the idea of, like, you walk up confidently to the bar. I'll have a glass of orange wine, please. The bartender turns around and goes, do we have orange wine?
Yeah, no kidding.
Takes a bottle of red, a bottle of white, mixes them together in glass. Like, now we do.
Just a little Aperol.
You're drinking it going, that's interesting. That's an interesting taste. I want to follow up on, remember last week we were talking about a guy who had an intimate dinner party, and then someone brought a +1. That +1 turned out to be a cop, but no one told anyone that this guy was a cop.
Yeah.
And this guy was like about to light a joint when he found out, and was like, wow, A, glad I didn't light the joint, and B, what's going on? Like, should a cop tell you? Should someone tell you? Whatever.
Right.
All right, so Jack wrote in. I can answer the question about the policeman and the joint. I was at a backyard barbecue and rolled a J and lit it. I hadn't met one of the guests before, and he was telling a story, which I started listening to halfway through, and offered him the joint. He politely declined. I then realized his story was about arresting someone. So I said, wait, you're a cop? And he was like, yeah, but it's cool, don't worry. And I guess it was so cool that he left shortly after, and we never saw him again. That's Jack B. This made me realize, I think an answer to the question of last week, this is probably why cops hang out with other cops.
Yeah.
Right? Because then, let's say they do want to smoke a joint. They know, well, like, I'm a cop too. No one's going to be upset about it.
That's right.
And people maybe aren't that comfortable and can let loose around them, maybe.
Well, also, they work together, and that's who your friends generally are.
Yeah, that's true. Common sense, folks.
But yeah, your point is taken.
Yeah. But, there's... just like in any profession, there's good cops, there's bad cops,
yes.
right? As as we all know from the phrase "good cop, bad cop."
Yes.
There's not a phrase that's like "good barista, bad barista."
No. Oh,
there are good and bad baristas.
There are, but it's not a famous. It's not a famous thing.
It's not a famous thing.
Yeah.
But do you know this Karen Reed trial?
Karen Reed. No.
She's a woman from Boston. She's dating a cop. Cop dies in the snow outside another cop's house.
No.
I can't get into it. I can't get into the whole thing with you right now.
Okay.
You need to put down the Star Wars. You need to pick up Karen Reed trial, okay? The appeal's going on right now.
Okay.
I'll send you all the links to Turtle Boy's videos. You don't know Turtle Boy?
I don't know Turtle Boy. All right.
Anyways, all this to say, part of the crime revolves around, not the crime, but the night of the crime revolves around all these cops together getting shithoused at a bar, in this town outside Boston, and then driving to another cop's house to drink more in the basement. And I think it's pretty obvious that they were all drunk driving.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about right.
Right, there is some sense that's like, well, I'm a cop, so... Right. I guess all I'm saying is it's like all these listeners are worried, like, shit, I light a joint in front of a policeman. What's he going to do? I think the assumption that they're all abiding by the law is probably not true, which is why they probably like to hang out with each other. So, A, no one judges them, and B, they can kind of do what they want and feel free. Right?
100%. 100%.
Like a tall guy at a concert. You're not doing anything wrong, but... you feel awkward around all these other people. So it'd probably be better for you to go to a concert with other tall people.
Right.
That's an ironclad analogy. I don't care what you say.
Right. So if Billy Joel is playing 3 nights, maybe only tall people on the night 3.
God, that guy plays MSG enough that he could have one night.
Right.
6 feet and above.
Right. And so how would that work? You just have you have to be this tall to enter this concert. Anything above, you can't come in.
Like a ride at a park.
Yeah, but in the opposite.
Wow, now you're making me think. Why not both?
Yes.
So what should the cutoff be? So we have 5'10" and under night and 5'11" and over night.
I think shorter. I think for our short kings and queens out there, 5'5".
That's true because we got to factor in women who are generally shorter than men. So we go 5'8" and under.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 5'9" and above.
There's a lot of people that can't go with their partners if you're making these rules.
That's true. Well, they can go on separate nights.
We haven't quite figured it out yet, Rachel.
It's flawed, but, there's something there.
We would have invented height-specific concerts 200 years ago if it wasn't for sexism.
Sexism rears its ugly head again.
And no one is stoned right now who's talking.
I might be. Okay. Speaking of which, we are recording this a little early because, JD, you're leaving on a trip.
I am.
So this is. Well, maybe I shouldn't have said. It's the weekend, so I could be high. That's the only point I wanted to make. That's fine. But it's as late on the weekend as you could possibly get. Okay, we're in Sunday Scaries territory right now. Can you tell us anything about this trip, or is this a big secret?
No secrets. It's annual meetings at the Athletic, so perfectly timed during the NHL and NBA playoffs for a sports media company to hold mandatory meetings that we have to all go to. But the good news is the Knicks are in the playoffs, so we're desperately trying to come up with credentials or tickets to go. But I am, there is an event that I'm blowing off. I blew off immediately the night we get there. There's a Yankees, game. But I bought one ticket to Glengarry Glen Ross. So I will be attending.
I will be wheeling my suitcase right into Glengarry Glen Ross.
Pretty much, man. It's going to be very, very tight.
Is this like the Kieran Culkin?
Yeah, Bill Burr,
Odenkirk, Bob
Odenkirk? Michael McKean.
That's fucking sick.
Looking forward to that.
I insisted he do that. He had to be convinced. I'm like, what? You have to go that. You can't go see Book of Mormon for the 21st time.
Which I was thinking of seeing. I just wanted to see something. I just didn't want to go to a Yankees game.
Are there any new musicals out that you're like, this is a must see?
No, I don't know. I'm kind of out of that game. So
you're just like Book of Mormon every time.
I love that show. That's great.
Beautiful man. He knows what he wants.
Yeah.
But this does sound like you're not producing anything. You're not filming anything.
We are. We weren't going
are.
to.
Fuck.
But then it's just like, okay, well, both game one start on Tuesday and Wednesday, so we'll be doing a show here in the Classic Factory. Then we're going to New York that afternoon, and then I'm going to the play. I'm gonna meet them after, and we're gonna record a post game late night show on both nights. So, and then it's gonna be. Really
okay, because at first I was excited for you because I was like, this sounds like a real boondoggle.
No.
They're flying to you to New York and you don't really have to shoot anything.
No, definitely shooting stuff. Literally the 2 hours that I have to myself, I am going to see a play. And the rest of it, I'm going to be working the entire time. So really looking forward to it.
That's a real man, folks. Mm-hmm. Jack B, the same person, also wrote in. So remember we were talking about open concept hotel bathrooms?
Yeah.
But we were really just talking about, it's like, well, when you and Rachel had a room in this hotel with an open bathroom and Jill and I had a room, we didn't talk about, like, what happens when it's just, like, two friends, like two buddies going. And Jack wrote it. He said, my buddy and his girlfriend broke up, so I took her place on the ski trip. This was the bathroom that their suite at the ski resort had. And luckily for Jack, I mean, I wouldn't have put it on this show anyways, but it was one of those disappearing pictures on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
So it's what I presume Jack is lying on the bed, phone in hand, and he takes a picture of his buddy in the shower. And there's just like, that like slightly frosted glass, like right around where the midsection of a man would be on the shower. Otherwise, it was just like a steamy photo of a man in a shower that was maybe 4 feet away from the bed.
Yeah.
It's like the old-timey like movies where everybody's showering like in the army outside, almost like outhouses.
Yeah.
Where you just
Okay, Rachel, that's pornography you've watched, so I don't know what that is.
Well, I'll share it.
What about you, Rachel? You said you had something that you needed to get off your chest.
Oh, well, it's not that I needed to get it off my chest. It was just one of my, every now and then I'm on Facebook and I think it's so perfectly timed on these neighborhood little groups because I think they take them off right away and they're like, I shouldn't have posted that. That was too much. Because I went back to try to find it and I couldn't find it. Two neighbors kind of got into it, related to something we talked about before. Dog poop bags going in their garbage, the neighbor getting caught on camera, and having a big blow up. And the guy is yelling at his neighbor. And again, if your garbage cans are at the road, fucking bring them in if you don't want dog shit put in them.
Yeah, we've
in my opinion.
Wait, quick question. Did the person know who that neighbor was, or just posted a picture, said, I caught whoever this person is on camera?
I think they saw them on camera, and then they waited for them to come by again and confronted them.
And it had a big,
stakeout.
like in person yelling at. Anyway,
it's nice when things move offline into the real world, Rachel.
Right?
Yeah, IRL. But anyway, the punchback from the guy who got yelled at was interesting. Here's an example. Okay, so he started sending junk mail to the neighbor that yelled at him. And the first one is Rage Man. Hothead Fred LLC is what they addressed that one as.
Rage Man.
The next one.
Wait, hold on. What is Wawak? Wawak?
I don't know.
America's #1 sewing source for over 100 years.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I should have.
Okay. Then the next one, this is my favorite. Crankopotamus, Angry Man Inc.
From paper.
So if you're just listening, it's not clear. Rachel is showing us, I assume Angry Man is posting these.
Yeah.
No, this is the revenge of the guy who
got yelled at.
I know, but it must be the guy who received it.
Yeah,
it was
is posting
the
as being
wife.
like, fuck you for doing this to me, right?
It was the wife who was like, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my God. And yes, you're right. And then the last one, Frowny McFrown Face Poop Can Incorporated.
This is very creative, I have to say. Because he could have just put John Doe or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I have to say I like it. I would never do that because I don't have the attention span to go the mile, but I like it.
No, it's good. It's people do it to us all the time. We get a lot of junk mail in our email. Just signed up.
What'd you do?
I don't know. People get mad. Yeah, like our No Dunks account. There's just tons of just shit that we've been signed up for. Unless Tass is just signing us up for the most random shit.
Oh, people get mad at like the show. You're saying?
Yeah, or
I thought
somebody
you meant like you personally.
No. I think just maybe me. I don't know, but we just get random, just emails.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but everyone gets. I don't know. I get a lot of
but these
spam
are
that I'm like, I don't know what this is. How did I get on this?
Yeah,
list?
maybe. I don't
You're
know.
paranoid? Are you stoned? You guys?
No, I've never
Not
thought
you.
that it's someone fucking with me. I just thought it's everyone gets a lot of spam.
Yeah. No, I meant Jason.
Did the people see the humor in it? Is my question.
That's probably why it got taken down, because the woman who posted it was outraged. Like, this is outrageous that somebody would stoop to this level. My husband had a very a valid complaint and confronted this neighbor, and now we're getting all this junk mail with these rude names addressed to us. And then people are like, "Why don't you just shut up, man? Like, just let him put his fucking dog poop in your garbage." So
I mean, if your bin always lives out there, especially, you have no right to get mad. But also, it's supposed to be brought in 24 hours after the garbage man comes.
But it's like when it's your neighbor, it can feel annoying because you're like, you live. How far could this person live from?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
exactly.
true.
It's around the
corner. It's like
you
you could just as easily. Like, I've only ever advocated for it if it's like, shit, I need to put this thing in a garbage, and I'm not next to my house, because otherwise, for sure, I'll put it in my own.
But why should you walk like 8 blocks to get back home carrying shit? Like,
well, I guess that's
garbage
the question.
can there.
Were they 8 blocks away? Because it sounds like you said they knew who the person was. So to me, it must be a neighbor that is more like closer than 8 blocks away.
Yeah, you would think. You would think. Anyway,
that's what's suspicious.
More poop.
That's very funny. I commend them.
Yes, indeed. I've recently saw. Now we're getting into fireworks season, I guess, because Memorial Day is next week, and then we got the 4th coming up. So
Memorial Day. What tier of holiday did we rank that in? When we ranked all 11 federal holidays.
It was up there, wasn't it? It was.
I think it was. What was it called? Observant observance. I forget.
Yeah.
Not celebrate.
No, we were cool with it. We just didn't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
we were like, it's the kickoff to summer, barbecues. It's a nice, fun day off, but it's called Memorial Day, which is a bit of a bummer.
Watch the greater good, and you tell us what it was.
It was like it's cool. I'll take the day off, sure, or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have seen in the past, and I saw recently, petitions to ban fireworks. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
They don't. Well, that doesn't work. Fireworks are literally illegal here, and I've never been in a city where there are more fireworks.
Yeah, exactly. We were in LA one time. I guess I don't know why, but I remember looking out the hotel window. It must have been 4th of July or something. But
they don't need a reason.
It doesn't matter. But like the fireworks going off was crazy. Anyway, the main reason that they want to ban fireworks is because of their dogs, and I'm like, no. I'm very pet friendly. We have Furry Friday in our Discord. I love seeing everybody's pets, but I'm sorry if your dog is freaked out by fireworks. That's on you. That's on you.
Yeah.
Why is that on you?
Because
it's on the dog.
Well, my dogs do not react at all to fireworks.
Okay, did you train them to do that?
Yeah. Well,
did you let off M80s? Was that what they're called in their ears until they were desensitized to it, like a fucking Clockwork Orange?
Look, the dog hears thunder. The dog hears whatever. The first thing they do is look at you, and however you're reacting, they're gonna be like, "All right, this guy's cool with it, so I guess we're fine."
You're blaming the victim right now, and
hold on, you're telling me that every dog that freaks out for fireworks, the dog only freaks out because a firework went off, and they looked at their human owner, and the human owner went, "Whoa, I gotta get out of here, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
our dog Hazel will freak out over anything, but she doesn't freak out over thunder, and she doesn't freak out.
Did
over...
she learn that you should freak out over everything?
I say "good girl" every time she barks at
Well,
the
stop
Amazon
it!
guy.
It's fucking
Why?
annoying.
Wait, why do you say "good girl" for barking at the Amazon?
Because
guy?
I want her to bark. Because I don't want people coming to the house. I don't want people casing the house.
Can you train her the difference between an Amazon delivery person and a thief?
Hey, she knows the difference.
So good at. I didn't realize I was hosting this show with Caesar Milan.
Jason, you are totally full of shit right now, so please stop.
Hey, she knows.
No, if you're full of shit, keep going.
She knows when we have Skeets, Tess, and Trey come here every day, and she doesn't even budge. She doesn't. Sometimes she's at the door if she's feeling frisky or whatever, but she's just never to bark at them. And sometimes she'll just like Cosmo will just lie on the couch and just let them come in. These are men who come to the house every day. They know them and they don't bother them.
Dude, it's not all nurture. It's sometimes nature. Some dogs are very anxious. So fucking
fine.
Give me a break.
If that's the case, then you just have to deal with it during the night of
Yeah, hold on.
fireworks, because
Rachel, thank you. You just reminded me, JD. Didn't you have a dog that bit you?
Yeah, well, we got rid of that.
We adopted this full-grown dog who had been terribly abused, and we had him for 4 months before he decided he was going to turn on Jace.
Yeah, he turned on me, but whatever, it happens.
Yeah.
So
it sounds like if you had had a bit more time, you could have trained him not to bite you.
You're crazy, Jason.
Anyway, I'm just saying.
I think we should ban fireworks just because. I don't know. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but they do suck. They suck.
Why? What
They're
do you mean?
loud and noisy and blow people's fingers off and set trees on fire.
Well, especially when it's like our neighbors, I don't know when, like right behind us, we're blowing them up and like, oh my God, our house is definitely going to catch on fire. That is so close to us. Like,
it's 4th of July, man.
How dangerous is shooting a gun in the air?
That's pretty dangerous.
Is it?
But yeah, because the bullet comes down eventually.
Right,
it could hurt somebody.
Well, so then if I had a gun that could launch a penny just as high in the air, would that be bad? I guess this is the old, like, I don't know if it's an old wives' tale. I think it is. Like, if you dropped a penny off the Empire State Building,
I think
kill a man.
I think that's a wives' tale.
why wouldn't it?
But so then why would if I dropped a bullet from the Empire State Building, same thing, I would assume.
Yeah. So okay, your point is taken. I don't know.
I do think it does feel
feels
bad.
really irresponsible.
In a movie when the militia's like celebrating and they're all like shooting their guns in the air.
Yeah.
They nothing bad ever happened. Like there should be a movie where they do that and then they all start dropping dead. Or something. At least one guy.
Yeah.
But
We're talking about shit we don't understand again, boys.
I know, but where do the bullets go, Rachel? Where do they go?
They go on the ground. It's gravity. They eventually have to come down. So
Someone's gonna
but it's
tell
not
us
like
what
in the sense where, like,
fucking
when
idiots
a satellite or a piece of space debris falls.
Right. Yeah.
You know, it could absolutely kill you.
100%.
But generally, they tend to fall in the ocean because the world is 3/4 water.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
But but a bullet feels like it would come down much closer to you.
He is definitely stoned. You're definitely.
I'm not stoned. I'm asking. What is happening to the bullets? Are they going in the cloud? Are they getting caught in the cloud?
Yes, they're getting caught in the cloud.
Is that what rain is?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, so last night I gave the dogs a very special meal. Jason was not into it.
I'm fine with it.
But Hazel did not eat her breakfast today, so I don't know whether that's because her tummy was upset.
Okay, what was in the meal?
The meal was gave them their kibble. I sliced up half a banana, a raw egg, and some turmeric, and I stirred it up, and they were very intrigued. And
Where's the special part?
That's special.
That's it. That's
the turmeric? That's the special
No,
part?
the raw egg, the banana, and the turmeric in the kibble.
Yeah.
As opposed to just dry ass kibble.
She saw this on an Instagram video.
Well, what's the turmeric for?
It's supposed to be anti-inflammatory.
Oh my God! Nothing's gonna happen to your dog if you sprinkle a little fucking dried turmeric in a bowl. This is driving me nuts with these like. I was just having this conversation with Jill. I was saying it was like, I saw, You know, I'm not even that old, and I've seen so many health trends come and go. Like I was giving an example because my dad traveled a lot for work. He traveled a lot to Asia. So every couple of years there'd be a new thing that'd be like, this is the miracle drug.
Yeah.
And here's 2 examples. Ginseng.
Yeah.
That's good though.
Where are you, ginseng?
It's basically,
I don't see anyone taking you.
Yeah, but it's basically caffeine. Do you remember back in Canada when they sold, God, what was it called?
Cold effects. But
Cold
that was
effects.
mostly zinc, I thought.
No, it was mostly ginseng. And our doctor said, vitamin C, all that stuff, there's no proven effect that it works. But this cold effects, it actually decreases the length of a cold, which I think caffeine in general does. So ginseng is basically...
But ginseng doesn't have... You're saying ginseng has caffeine
Well, it's more like
in it?
a stimulant. It doesn't have caffeine, but it is a stimulant.
Oh, ginseng is a stimulant. Interesting. Okay, well then... Okay, here's another word you may not have heard in 20 years. Echinacea? Where'd you go?
I don't think
Where
there's
you
proof
at,
on that. And
echinacea?
it's disgusting. It
So
tastes
gross.
horrible.
But that's my point, is that it's like... So my dad came back with this jar of echinacea pills. We're all taking them like, wow, this cold's never going to get me. But, I mean, was it placebo? Not... that's not even my point. My point is just, if it was so effective, why isn't anyone taking it now?
Right.
Why isn't anyone talking about it? Because we're talking about 10 different things like chaga or lion's mane or whatever that mushroom powder shit is.
Yeah.
And it's all bullshit. Don't you see?
Yeah.
Don't you see that you're buying this smoothie with like 15 ingredients in it and this berry and that thing and this is a turmeric anti-inflammatory? It's not going to make a fucking difference.
So you're saying that Katherine Heigl is wrong because that's where
Yes.
Rachel found this out. It was on an Instagram video that Katherine Heigl herself, Hollywood actress,
Expert of everything.
and dog
Well, she played a
lover.
doctor, didn't she?
Veterinary medicine.
Yeah, did she?
Yeah,
oh yeah,
she
she
did,
was on Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she would know, but I guess not. So Katherine Heigl's wrong. Okay.
But it's also like, okay, like even if turmeric is like this miracle thing, don't you have to like take it in a specific way? Like
Yeah, we
a
take-
certain dose and a certain frequency.
We take capsules of turmeric. It has like a pepper with it that's supposed to help activate.
Hey, speaking of your dogs, why don't you train them better?
Somebody's at the door.
That's on us, Jason. Oh, I bet it's the coffee delivery.
Oh, finally.
Oh, that coffee deliverer does not deserve this chorus of angry
What if the
barks.
coffee delivery guy is casing the house? Ever think about that?
Okay, back to
No,
the turmeric.
I've never once thought of that.
Well, it happens.
You need to just build a fucking fence.
What?
What?
Build a fence.
An electric fence to keep
Good
people
fences
out.
make good neighbors. Then you won't have to worry about the dogs barking.
Still gonna approach the door. I have a big ass bottle of turmeric that I'm never gonna get used, and it's really about I don't just want to.
Right. And my problem with this special dinner thing is, like, we have 2 dogs that will wolf down happily dry kibble.
Mm-hmm.
You open that door, you're adding eggs, you're adding,
Nanas.
Chicken.
bananas, chicken, cottage cheese, yogurt. Then they won't eat the kibble. And then they're just like, they look at you and go, where's my fixins? Get to it, toots. Let's go. You know?
Yeah. Well, we were just talking about this too, because, anyways, we were reading this thing, but our dog that died like a year ago, actually,
R.I.P. Butch.
he stopped eating kibble.
Right. Okay.
And then, so we were making him boiled chicken, and he would eat that.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, well, is this bad to do, blah, blah. And it was like, well, what do you want? Like, I don't really know what the alternative is.
Yeah,
He's made a decision.
We've been down this road with dogs before where it's just like, okay, well, he is just not going to eat if we are putting kibble out. Like, they just will not eat. And then so you're constantly, and I don't want to do that every day. But also, I love my Hazel, so if it's, it's a nice little treat.
All right, well, that's it. Check us out, patreon.com/isthisgood. You could send topics for future shows to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com like Jack did, and I read it. That's crazy.
Jack got a lot of mileage.
Yeah, well, he did send me a nude photo. I mean, I couldn't see. I only wanted it not to be a perp, but I wanted to. My plan was I was going to send it to you. I was like, I'm not going to show it, but I'm going to send it to you just to hear your reaction live on air. But then when I went back to get it, it was a disappearing photo.
Damn.
Classy.
All right. But don't send nude photos to us.
You sounded like
legally
you were
speaking.
like, you'll get more airtime.
No, because it won't go on air.
That's
okay,
right.
we have standards and practices
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
We can't even play 5 seconds from a song here. You think we could put up nudes? I bet actually probably putting up nudes we would get less dinged.
we just put little tassels on the black
yeah.
spots. It's fine.
That's right.
Okay.
Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. YouTube is where you can't see nudity in our show.
That's right.
And leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Thanks for listening. JD, have a great trip.
Thank you.
Your suitcase gonna have wheels on it?
Oh, yeah. Better believe it.
Baby. You little wuss.
Yep.
For JD and Rachel, I'm Matt Austin, and this was good. We'll see you next week.
Bye.